I am glad that I wait to read. What am I saying? Literally, what words are coming out of my mouth right now? Hey, welcome. My name is Jessie, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my entire physical TBR, all the books that I own that I have not read yet, as well as every book that I have downloaded on my Kindle at the current moment, and every book that I have on hold at the library. So we have a lot of books to go through. Every summer, I like to do a book buying ban. Last summer was the first time I did it, so not really every summer. The last time I bought a book, I think, was mid-June. I do want to go on a book buying ban until mid-September to the end of September, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to be too strict about it, just because sometimes I like to go to the bookstore and buy one or two. But as long as I'm not like binge buying books or just buying books that I really don't need because I have so many right now, I'm going to be fine. So my goal is just to not buy a ton of books at once. So with that being said, we're going to get into my Kindle reads first. I'm going to talk about those, and then we'll go on to our library reads, and then we'll go on to the physical books, which is going to take up the biggest portion of this video. Let's take a seat and I'll let you know what I have on my Kindle. All right, first up for Kindle reads, I have the book that I'm currently reading, which is Cursed Fates by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is book 5 in the Zodiac Academy series. I just started it last night, so that is technically on my TBR. I also have this book physically, but I'm just reading it on my Kindle because those books are quite big and it's a little rough to hold. I recently downloaded New Moon, which is the second book in the Twilight series. I read the first book in December for the very first time, so I would like to continue this. I think they're all on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not like eager to finish that series, but it's on here, so I might as well. Next up, I have The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. This is book 4 in the Truly Devious series. This series is a young adult mystery. The first 3 in that series is kind of its own trilogy, and then I believe there's 2 or 3 more books out right now. In this one, The Box in the Woods is a standalone, but it's still a part of the same series, same characters. Beneath the Stars by Emily McIntyre. This is the author that wrote the Never After series, those darker romances like Hooked, Scarred, and I like the majority of those, so I really wanted to read a different book by her. This isn't a dark romance, as you can probably tell by the cover. It looks more cartoony rom-com. I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but when I saw it was on Kindle Unlimited and it was by an author that I've already read before and that I've decently liked, then I figured I would download that. Next, I have City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. I've seen this book going around for a while now, or the series. I believe it's an urban fantasy, and I love urban fantasies, so I'm very excited to get to this one, but I have a feeling I might not like it. This is why I downloaded it on Kindle, because I've heard mixed things about it, and sometimes when I see mixed reviews about books, I still like to try them out to see if I like them myself, but I think a lot of the negative things that I've seen about it are things that I'm not going to really like, but I'm going to try it and see how it goes. Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I have read 2 books by Olivia Blake so far. I have another one on my physical TBR that you guys will see later. I like her writing. I'm very curious to see what her other books are about. I feel like she does different topics. I would just like to go through her backlist and see how many books I like by her. Next is another book that I am not sure that I'm gonna like. I have had this on my TBR for so long. It's Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is book 1 of a fantasy series. I believe it's a fantasy romance, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be one of those that might be a little cringy to me. I'm not entirely sure, so we're gonna try that one as well. And then I also have the first 2 in, I think this is called like the Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan. It's Before I Let Go and This Could Be Us. I think this is a trilogy now. The 3rd book just came out. I've heard nothing but good things about Kennedy Ryan. She seems like such a fantastic person, so I really want to read a book by her. Next, I have Anathema by Carrie Lake. I have this downloaded on here. I actually have a special edition of this book pre-ordered from a company called Lit Haven Boutique. I'm still waiting on it. I think it's going to be shipping within the next couple of months, but I have it on here in case I want to read that before I get the physical copy. Next, I have the last 2 in the Beartown series by Frederick Bachman. This is Us Against You and The Winners. I read the first book in January, and I do have Us Against You as a physical copy as well, but sometimes it's just easier to read on the Kindle, so I have both of them downloaded. Next up, I have Us Dark Few and Us Deadly Few by Alexis Patton. I read Us Dark Few already, so I don't know why I have it still downloaded here. I think it's because I kind of want to reread this already, but this is a dystopian. I love dystopian books. I love this book when I read it so much, and this is an indie published series. It's going to be a trilogy. The 3rd one finally got announced. It's coming out, I think, January, and they're also getting traditionally published, so I'm so stoked. I'm glad I didn't buy the physical copy of this yet because I'll get it when it's traditionally published. I am so scared to read the second one because I think it leaves off on a cliffhanger. The first one kind of did as well, but I don't know. I want to wait until I get closer to book 3's release date because I don't know, man. It's really good, and I want to reread the first one and then go right into the second one. Now we have Jade War and Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I have Jade War as a physical copy, but of course I have it downloaded on Kindle because it was free, and sometimes you just want to read on the Kindle. So these 2 books are the last 2 in the Greenbone Saga, which is a trilogy, and I read the first one, I think, this year as well. So I definitely want to get to these next 2 sometime soon. Going with the flow, we have Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I also have a physical copy of this, but it's a hardcover and it's a big hardcover. So easier to read on the Kindle. And then I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I think this is a duology. It's Vicious and Vengeful. This book has been out for a while, and I've been wanting to read more V.E. Schwab. And lastly, on my Kindle, we have Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, and I also have this one as a physical copy as well, so we won't talk too much about it because you guys will see it later. And that is the first book in, I believe, a trilogy that is on my Kindle. Now, let's go to my library reads. All the books I have on hold. I think I only have 5, so we'll go through these fast. As for hold at the library, these are all on the Libby app. I have not gone to the library physically in a very long time because Libby is just so easy. First up, we have First Time Caller by B.K. Morrison. I read this author before the Lovelight Farm series. It consists of 4 books, and I enjoyed them for the most part, so I'm curious to see if I like another book by this author. This was an anticipated read for me when it got released, but I never picked it up after because I was reading reviews about like a really cringy scene in there, and I'm over like cringy romances, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but my library just got this book, so I am first in line. We will be reading this soon. Next up, I have A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. This is the second book in, it's not really a series. I'm surprised that there is a second book, but this book comes after A Study in Drowning. I loved that book. I know a lot of people don't like that book, or they just didn't really feel for it. I just thought it was very atmospheric, and I liked the vibes of it. There's a quote in there that I absolutely love. I literally have part of it tattooed on my hand. Yeah, I am excited to see what the second book is about. I think that A Study in Drowning was meant to be a standalone, but we have a second book now, and I'm not complaining. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I like it. Next up, I have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This is another book that I didn't want to buy physically. I had planned to buy it physically, but then once I started seeing the reviews of it, I was a little skeptical. I think I'm going to like it, but I am a little scared because I've heard it's really sad, and I'm just getting into that phase where I don't like sad books. I don't want to read sad books, but I read Just for the Summer. I love that book, and Yours Truly and Part of Your World are the only other 2 that I've read by Abby Jimenez. They were okay. I liked them, except for the third act conflict. That just made me absolutely hate it. I don't understand why. Like, it's so frustrating, okay? It was really frustrating to me, and I hated it so much, but I still enjoyed those books. I'm hoping I like Say You'll Remember Me. I don't know. This one, I am 12th in line though. I've had this on hold since the beginning of April. Started 62nd in line. We're getting there. It's actually moving pretty fast because my library just keeps getting copies, but I feel like we'll be reading this within the next month or 2. Next, I have Catabasis by R.V. Kwong. This is probably my most anticipated release for this year. I had this book pre-ordered, so I don't really need it on hold at the library, but I figured just in case I want to read it on my phone or my Kindle, I have that access to it. But I will be getting this in the mail once it comes out, and I'm so stoked. I cannot wait for this book. You guys don't even understand. Lastly, from my library hold, I have The Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is the second book in the Hierarchy series. The first one is The Will of the Many. I read it in January, rated it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm first in line with that one, but it doesn't come out until, I believe, September. It's just I have like 20 weeks. I'll be here waiting patiently, just me, myself, and I, and all these books. Anyway, that's it for my library holds. Now we're gonna move on to the big chunk, which is every book that I have on my physical TBR. I feel like this is what you guys have been waiting for. Let's get into it. Welcome back to square one. I believe this is where we started the video. I do only have some books on my shelves. Everything else is on my TBR cart, but since we're here, I will show you these books first. The first ones are on top, so let me try to yank these down. All right. First up, for physical TBR, we have the Mistborn trilogy by Sir Brandon Sanderson. I have wanted to read these books since I'm telling you 2014, maybe sooner, maybe. Why did I say sooner? That doesn't make sense. Maybe before 2014. These are, I think, the first books that I have marked as want to read on Goodreads. So I finally bought them. I bought them from Blackwell's because I like the white cover with like the blue. Oh my god, they're so perfect. It was love at first sight. I am very happy that I waited to read this because I think back then I would not have liked this type of fantasy, but now this is what I'm into. Those are the first 3. I think I only have I'm short-circuiting. I don't know what's going on. The only other books that I have on my shelves that I haven't read, I think, is this whole shelf besides the Mortal Instruments series. I read those way back when. My reread is coming up. I'm so excited. But anyway, I'm not going to take these books off, so hopefully you guys can see these. I can't really tell right now. But after I reread the Mortal Instruments, well, the first 3, I'm going to move into the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. These are all by Cassandra Clare, if you did not know. I've heard nothing but great things about this trilogy. I know it's a lot of people's favorite trilogy, like ever. And then I'm going to reread the last 3 of the Mortal Instruments. And then we're going to get into the Dark Artifices and then the Last Hours trilogy. So I do have 9 books from Cassandra Clare that I own that I have not read yet. It's time. This is my year. It's happening. Now we're gonna move on to the books that I have on my July TBR. If you guys watch my July TBR jar prompt video, you guys will know what those books are. I do put my TBR on a shelf that is kind of empty right now. So we'll take a peek at those and then we'll move on to our TBR card. I promise it's coming. Like falling over. Thank God I wasn't recording it. Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. This is the first book that was on my July TBR. I am currently reading this one and you're probably like, didn't you just say you were reading Cursed Fates? Yeah. I started Cursed Fates when I was already a little ways into this one, but they're both on my July TBR. They're both series that I'm in the middle of. Why not, you know? Why not read two books at the same time? Speaking of Cursed Fates, we have it right here. That's her. Currently reading these two. Having lots of fun. And then the other books on my July TBR are I looked up how to say this and I kind of already forgot. I think it's Obelisk. The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy. We also have Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This is book 1 of the Celestial Kingdom duology. The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. Just a little fun rom-com for the summertime. And then lastly for my July TBR, we have All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is book 3 in the Natural series. This one will probably be the next book I read after I finish the 2 that I'm in the middle of right now. But that is it. That is my July TBR. It's TBR card time. I have some books in the back too, so I will be pulling those out. Actually, maybe I'll do that first. Yes, let's do the ones in the back first since you guys can't see them yet. I do have a little poetry book. This is When the World Didn't End by Caroline Kaufman. I don't know why I have this, honestly. I don't really like poetry too much, but sometimes it hits. I don't know, we'll try it out. Now we have A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. This book just came out at the beginning of June. This is my personalized signed copy. Very proud of this. I love Elizabeth Lim. If you've watched my channel for a while, this is the author that wrote Six Crimson Cranes, and I have raved about that book ever since I read it. It was like the best book that I read in 2024. 6-star read for me. Any book by Elizabeth Lim now I want to read. So this is her recent release and I cannot wait to read this. I also have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is book 2 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart so long ago, so I really need to get into these last 2 books. I'm obsessed with this purple. I don't know why, but I just want to read this so I can have this on my shelf so I can see the purple all the time. Then we have the last book in the Broken Heart trilogy. This is covered in cat hair. That's cool. Sorry, that's kind of gross. This is The Stone Sky, and this will complete this trilogy for me. I have no idea where this trilogy is going to go, but we will find out one day. Then we have the last book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is Bad Blood. I love me a young adult mystery. They're very fun. They're very easy to read. They're fast-paced. I'll be satisfied as well when I finish this series because I only have 2 more, and I've been reading it for so long, so I want to get this off my TBR. This book right here. I am almost halfway through. I started this book in 2022. It is 2025. I keep saying that I'm going to finish this book every year, and have I finished it yet? No. I just keep telling myself if I don't finish it this year, I'm actually going to be so mad. I just can't even hold it in my hand. It's so big. Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. This is book 1 of this trilogy. Following Empire of the Vampire, we have Empire of the Damned, which is the second book. Should I have bought the second one without reading the first one? Probably not, but here we are. Then we have my other book by Olivia Blake. This is Gifted and Talented. This is her new release. I'm very excited for this one. It seems very interesting. It says, money is a family business. Magic is a family curse. Malice by John Gwynne. This book has been on my TBR for over a year now, I believe, so I would really like to get to this. This is on my 2025 list as well. I think this is a 4-book series. It's like a high fantasy, epic fantasy. So I'm hoping I like it. I think I can get this at the library as well. So when I get around to reading this, I'll just download it on Libby. Now we have book 6 in the Zodiac Academy series. This is Fated Throne. This is a 9-book series. Technically longer. There's so many novellas, but I haven't read any yet. I think I'm only going to read 8.5. And I've heard that one you should read at the same time as you're reading book 8. We are almost done with this series, kind of, technically, not really, actually. I don't know why I just said that. Lastly, for this top row, we have A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is book 2 in the Emperor in the Ashes trilogy. I started Emperor in the Ashes a couple months ago. Really enjoyed it. Moving on to the second row, I'm going to do these at the same time. We have Ninth House and Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. Ninth House has been on my TBR for a very long time as well. I think I kind of want to push this off even more just because there is going to be a 3rd book in this trilogy, but it's not announced yet. I think these are going to be slow reads for me. They're going to take me a while to get through, but I'm ready for them when I get to them, and I still am very highly anticipating these books. Next, I have Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is a young adult. I think this is a dystopian trilogy as well, or series. I've heard great things about this one, and it's been on my Mine TBR for a while. I finally picked this one up at a Half Price Books, I think I got it from. I think I'm really gonna like this series too. Next up is A Thousand Splendid Suns. This is the author of The Kite Runner. I read The Kite Runner last year. It was so good. This is a book that I saw a quote by. Obviously, I like The Kite Runner, so I want to read another book by this author, but I saw a quote, I don't even remember what it was, that I really, really loved. So I can't wait to read this and read that quote. But I know his novels are very sad. They're usually set in Afghanistan, I believe, and just during that time of war. So definitely not lighthearted reads, but they are still very much worth it. And I think his book should be read. I can hear my cat crying in the basement. The door's open. I don't know what he's doing down there. He goes down there, does not want to come up, and just cries. And I can hear him from any room in the house. Next up is a book that I bought a couple months ago on Indie Bookstore Day when I went around. This is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I think the third and final book just got, well, maybe it's not a trilogy, maybe it's longer. I don't really ever know. Don't take my word on anything that I say on this channel. I'm so sorry, but like, I really don't know. I can't tell you. Sometimes I'll be lying, I think. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This is the same author as The Night Circus, which I read and rated 5 stars. I read it so long ago. Do I really remember if it's actually a book that is worth my 5-star rating? No, I don't know. But I do want to read this one before I reread The Night Circus. And I've heard mixed things about this, but I think it's going to be one that I do like and I do prefer. Now we have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This is a young adult romance novel. I like Lynn Painter's young adult romances so far. I've only read 2. This was a blind date with the book, so I didn't know what I was getting. I did guess it right though, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I've liked her book so far. I don't know about her adult romances. I haven't read one. I've heard they're not as good as the young adult ones. But if you have any adult romance by Lynn Painter that you recommend, let me know, because I would like to try one out. Now we have the start of another series, which is This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. This is the same author as the Shatter Me series, which I only read the first 3 books in the Shatter Me series. They were good, but then I just feel like I outgrew them and I didn't want to continue the series. I think I get this one confused with a different young adult fantasy, because there's one that's based on Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if it's this one or if it's These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong or something. I think that's the Romeo and Juliet one, but I don't know why I feel like this one is. I don't know. Anyway, we have her. Lastly, for this row, we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is a book that I do plan on getting to very soon, and this is the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series. Adult romance. I'm sure you guys have all heard about this book. Very popular. Moving on to the last row, we have The Last Blood Cover by Vanessa Lee. This is my Owl Crate special edition. This is a young adult fantasy because that's the box that I was subscribed to. I don't know too much about this one. Next, we have A Door in the Dark by Scott Rankin. This is the start of a young adult fantasy series. It's still in the works. It's not complete yet, but this is book 1, and I've heard that this is kind of like Harry Potter-esque, where these kids are at some sort of magical school, or I think they get thrown out into the woods or something and they have to survive. But I've heard it has kind of the same elements as Harry Potter. There's that type of magic in there, which I'm all for. So I'm ready to read this one whenever it wants to choose me. Next up, I have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. This author also wrote Little Fires Everywhere. I read that a couple years ago and I really enjoyed that one. These are just literary fiction novels. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Was this on my fall TBR last year? Yes. Did I read it? No. I am excited to read this one, although I did just hear that this book is only 8 chapters long. That's crazy, actually, because it's like a full-length novel. But you know, it's fine. It really is. We already talked about this is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is the one that I had downloaded on my Kindle. This is one of those books where I just heard a lot of people say good things about, and I got it, because hopefully I can say good things about it too. Now we have The Water Outlaws, which I love this cover so much. This is a standalone fantasy. I bought this one at Half Price Books as well. See, this one's calling to me right now. If you've read this, give me motivation, because I feel like I need to read this soon. There's something about it. I'm getting that feeling. We also talked about this book already. This is Jade War by Fonda Lee. This is book 2 in the Greenbone Saga. I wish I could read a book a day, because I would just love to get through all these and read every single book that I want to read in the world, because how great would that be? Really. Alrighty, now we have True Colors by Kristen Hanna. I bought this book last year and it was on my fall TBR. And it's also been on multiple monthly TBRs, but I still haven't picked it up. I read The Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna and I didn't like it. I didn't really like the writing. I just wasn't vibing with it. It wasn't for me. So I think now I'm nervous to get into another book by Kristen Hanna because I don't know if it's going to make me feel the same way. These plot lines are definitely a lot different. I'm pushing it off now. Last but not least, this one was already talked about. This is Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. So sorry to leave you guys off with the book that I have already talked about in this video. Probably gonna be a 5 stars because that's just how his books are going for me. There's probably some tears coming up in my future, but I'm ready for it. That is that. Every book that I have on my physical TBR, I guess I should count. That's probably what people normally do in these videos. Okay, let me do that. I'm gonna count only my physical TBR though. I'm not gonna do my Kindle reads or my library holds. We'll include my July TBR, the 2 books that I'm reading right now, and then everything on this cart and the ones I showed you on my shelves. So let me do that number real quick and then I'll come back with the final result. Final result, drum roll please. You better be patting your thighs right now. 48. There's something outside my window right now. What is it? It's a ghost. I'm just kidding. It's probably a squirrel or a chipmunk or something because we have the most amount of chipmunks around here and they're really annoying. Anyway, 48. That's not bad at all. Those are all the books that I have on my physical TBR, all the books that I have ready for me waiting on my Kindle, and the books that I am waiting for at the library. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how many books you have on your physical TBR if you can count them real quick. I would love to know. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video, whatever that may be. I hope you have a great day or a great night wherever you are, and I'll see you later. Bye.